Hello, and thank you for taking the time to listen to our Team 1 presentation, created for the Teachers Without Frontiers organization represented by Hafsa Albi, fellow students and professor of the Project Management course. We are providing an overview of our project based on the Grade 10 English language curriculum from Pakistan. This project is part of the MSCI 651 International Project Management course completed under the direction of Professor Peter Carr. Teachers Without Frontiers and the University of Waterloo have been working together since 2016 to develop an online education resource library. The overall objective of this library is to provide support to teachers and students to foster the education process in Pakistan. This is a great long-term goal broken down into sub-projects to be completed over multiple phases. Team 1 hopes to contribute positively to teachers and students across Pakistan by providing necessary learning resources for Grade 10 English language students. Team 1 also hopes to support and promote the development of the use of free educational online resources to enhance education in countries with limited budgets. These resources will be particularly beneficial for teachers and students living in remote areas. The project management course aims to help current master's level students like Team 1 to achieve greater understanding of project management through team collaboration and participation with Teachers Without Frontiers. The project goal is to gather resources that are accessible electronically and meet the learning objectives for students and teachers for Grade 10 English language. These resources would help to broaden the knowledge base of Grade 10 students in Pakistan. Team 1 includes Kenneth, Olalua, and Samay. Samay is the project manager and is responsible for facilitating and managing the overall activities of project development to ensure the project progresses. Olalua is the communications manager and is responsible for all external communications with the client and sponsor. Ken is the operations manager and is responsible for ensuring that all activities are scheduled and assigned to team members. Team 1 was assigned with the collection of resources for Competency 1, Reading and Thinking Skills; Competency 2, Writing Skills; Competency 3, Oral Communication Skills, while incorporating the benchmarks for Competency 5. The team was able to work together and link their learning resources, list their assigned student learning outcomes, and work diligently to meet changes as required by the client. There were several factors that limited the project scope. One of the main factor is because of the different geographic locations of the project sponsor, client, and team meetings that were held exclusively online. Timings and resources listed here are also other major factors for limiting the team scope. The project management plan includes 6 sections, which were the scheduling and management plan, communication management plan, change management plan, quality management plan, risk management plan, and the human resources management plan. Throughout the project, team members referred to this project management plan as a baseline for information, ensuring clear direction to reach their project objectives. The scheduling management plan was created to allow team members predict their future workload and set expectations for how much time it would take to complete each student learning outcomes, benchmark, and standard. The resources were scheduled amongst team members for 6 weeks duration to cover the scope. The communication management plan details all the necessary communication methods that the team use. The use of shared Google folder and weekly internal meetings were highlighted in the communication management plan. The change management plan contains details and direction for team members to successfully implement a change within the project. Each member had an equal responsibility to ensure that suggested changes are implemented only when necessary. The quality management plan details necessary quality control to avoid issues during the weekly submission to the client and sponsor. Throughout the term, the team established a process that involved all members with layers of verification for resource compliance to the Pakistan culture. The risk management plan highlights possible risks to project completion and for groups to take steps to mitigate. As a general overview, the risk management plan helped the team to mitigate communication risk, personal illnesses and absences, language risk, and integrity of academic resources risk. The Human Resource Management Plan lists all team roles and responsibilities. The roles are divided as follows. Sameh is primarily the project manager and will also take on the quality manager role. Kenneth is primarily the operations manager and will also take on the development manager role. Olalua is primarily the communications manager and will also take on the human resource manager role. The team collected free high-quality educational resources that are functional and meets the student learning outcomes required in the Pakistan national curriculum while complying with the Pakistan culture, values, and norms. Members of Team 1 all work together to ensure that all student learning outcomes meet these criteria. Weekly meetings were held by team members to agree on assigned tasks and to coordinate together to complete outstanding resource collection for each student learning outcomes. Weekly and bi-weekly meetings were also held between team members Professor Peter Carr and Hafsa Alvi, respectively, to discuss about the weekly team progress, ask about any questions, receive guidance and suggestions to improve on the team's work. A total of 296 resources were collected for the 62 student learning outcomes at project completion. The project team collected 152 resources for 31 student learning outcomes under Competency 1. Competency 2 had 118 resources collected for 26 student learning outcomes. Competency 3 had only 5 student learning outcomes assigned, which totaled 26 resources. This is a great accomplishment made by the team considering that 296 learning and teaching resources were gathered by 3 members, averaging 99 academic resources gathered by each team member. The project team kept the number of video lessons under 30% of all resources collected, as required by the client and sponsor, achieving around 9% of total resources collected as video lessons. Teaching aids were the most collected type of resource, accounting for around 61% of all resources for its student learning outcomes. Worksheets accounted for about 18% of total resources collected. This table shows the types of resources that were collected for each competency. The team discussed and recommended a few suggestions for future students looking to contribute to the resource library being developed. These suggestions include to update the library with new educational resources, to maintain the library by removing links that expire or close, and to develop the library by adding a review section for users to rate resources. Here is a final note to conclude our presentation. Teachers and students in Pakistan can benefit from the online free library resource made by Team 1. Team 1 would also like to thank Hafsa and Peter for the opportunity of being part of this project. Thank you for listening.